gets washed up in central Concepcion province. Beaches have been covered red as the Dublin Bay prawns were found. Investigators are trying to find out what has killed so many crustaceans in this case.
Thousands of dead fish have washed up on Adelaide's southern beaches.
It's Adelaide's turn. Little leather jackets litter the shore, just like Eyre Peninsula beaches earlier this month. Locals have observed them from Christie's Beach south to Maslins.
Never seen it before and not sure why.
Yeah, wondering about what the cause is.
At least 80 people were injured, too critically, as a series of devastating tornadoes ripped across 2 states. The twisters tore through towns in New South Wales and Victoria, destroying dozens of homes. The trail of damage stretched 40 kilometres.
They were watching the clouds and saw it forming.
Coming for us.
Daniel Clark and his mate wouldn't be laughing for long. Their encounter with this force of nature just kept getting closer and closer.
Oh, stop, stop. Power line just went.
It was building in strength, in speed. It was time to go. With it almost on top of them, they spin the car around and are driving for their lives, hammered by debris.
Get going.
Racing to flee a tornado, packing winds of up to 250 kilometres an hour.
Unbelievable. I can't even describe how crazy it was to be in amongst it.
A mini tornado just happening between the trees. This is like crazy. Oh my God. Look at the tornado!
Along the border, several twisters touched down after 7 o'clock last night.
Whoa! That is insane!
And this was the result. Roofs, fences, homes were ripped to pieces. This was a demolition.
Weather forecasters say twisters with such force are rare in Victoria.
Britain is preparing to shiver through its coldest March weekend in 50 years. Blizzard-like conditions have claimed at least one life.
This is springtime in Britain. The calendar may say winter is over, but the weather says otherwise. A huge swathe of the country is under snow, and the forecasters say there's more to come. Britain is being told to brace itself. It's hard to believe British summertime begins in just over a week, because for much of Britain, this is a winter that just won't end.
We're just outside Denver. As someone said to me today on the way into work, where is spring? More than half the country getting hit with this newest nasty storm. Hundreds of miles of roads already shut down from Colorado to Kansas tonight. Snow and ice is returning to windshields across America tonight, with winter storm warnings and watches up across more than a dozen states now. And in the South this evening, fears of tornadoes because of all this.
It's the winter that just won't release us from its icy grip.
Begin with some breaking news tonight. A flash of light that experts are saying was probably a meteor was seen streaking across the sky along the East Coast. There are reports from Virginia up to Boston and beyond. More reports are coming in tonight. It happened just after 8 o'clock.
There are at least 350 reports of this possible meteor.
While there's been heavy snow in parts of Europe, including the UK, in Kiev it's been so bad that a state of emergency has been declared. 1 month's snowfall, which is about half a metre, has covered the Ukrainian capital in just 24 hours. The city's paralysed.
A man is fighting for life after being crushed by a tree branch during last night's severe storms in southeast Queensland. Several other people were hurt and dozens of homes damaged when the storm hit with fierce winds and thousands of lightning strikes.
Bangladesh is reeling after a powerful tornado tore through villages in the east of the country. The latest reports are that 20 people are dead, 200 are injured and hundreds more are without homes.
More than 20 people were killed and hundreds injured. The ferocity of the wind has left many villagers in shock. The wind was so powerful, even plaques were overturned.
Fierce storm this evening, more than half of the country in its path before it's over. And this video just in tonight from Orlando, Florida. Look and listen to this.
Oh, there he is.
extreme winds blowing right through those front doors at a Lowe's store, blowing shopping carts like toys. You can see the heavy rains outside. In the west tonight, the storm dropping more than a foot of snow in parts of Colorado, then moving on to Kansas City.
Very unpleasant form of deja vu. Again, a dangerous sinkhole opening up in a residential neighborhood in Florida, and this is going on right near where the sinkhole swallowed a man asleep in his bed.
Record amounts of snow are still falling, and just watch. We have a time-lapse video of the snow piling up and continuing to pile up overnight in St. Louis. And it just keeps coming in parts of the country.
We've got some sheep under the drift here. We've been lifting about 40 yesterday digging them out. So what I'm doing is I'm using the dog now. He'll use his nose, and hopefully we'll see an air pocket. It's third day for some of these sheep, and they're heavily pregnant. They're weakened, they're carrying a lot of snow on them. And this is a disaster. It's a disaster for rural farmers out here on the mountain. You know, my family's been collecting sheep the other day. They've got 150 missing. We haven't counted ours. So this is the problem that we're looking at. We don't know what's under all this. We're just finding the odd one. There could be hundreds of sheep lost in Wales. We've dug 40 out yesterday. We'll dig a few out today. You know, this is all we've got is a spade and just brute force, you know, brute power. It's a killer. It is an absolute killer. I've never seen anything like this. It's just bloody heartbreaking. How many more? I don't know.
Visitors to Adelaide's premier beach aren't quite sure what to make of it.
Something totally new, never seen this before.
Hundreds of tons of seagrass washed up onto the beach over the weekend, covering the shoreline. The council's been under the pump trying to clear up the beach before Easter. It's not the only part of the coast that's fallen foul to the Great Brown Plague. Beaches on Fleurieu Peninsula have been coated with seagrass as well. Experts believe the big wash-up of seagrass, fish and dolphins in the past few weeks is no coincidence.
The fact that it's occurring in lots of different bits of the South Australian coastline around the same sort of time points to something that's a big cause.
And just in, a magnitude 6.2 earthquake has just struck in Guatemala, only about 6 miles to the southeast of its capital city. That's according to the U.S. Geological Survey.
A magnitude 5.5 earthquake hit the southwest of Pinotepa Nacional on the Pacific coast of Mexico. Less than 10 minutes later, a second quake hit with magnitude 5.1.
An earthquake measuring 6.1 on the Richter scale has struck Taiwan. There are reports of a 72-year-old woman being killed by a collapsed temple wall. At least 19 people have been injured.
Dramatic upheaval in the earth today on a small island off the coast of Washington state. Residents say it began with a mysterious sound, almost like thunder, and then something terrifying. The earth seemed to crack open.
It was just before 4 o'clock in the morning when the slide hit with such force, homeowners thought it must be a massive earthquake.
I looked out and noticed that we had no more trees blocking the view, and half the yard was gone.
One home was swept away and nearly 3 dozen are now evacuated.
A sinkhole suddenly opens up, swallowing a security guard. The horrifying moment captured by cameras in Shenzhen City, China. Yang Shiping was buried as people tried to reach him.
2 people have been killed and another seriously injured after a wall collapsed in Melbourne on Thursday. Witnesses said there was a sudden gust of wind.
I heard this loud noise, this really loud noise, like a thunder, like bam, like that. And I saw dust everywhere and I rushed out. There were people running towards the wall. It was really bad. It was like a war zone.
Police believe it was toppled by a sudden squall of wind which hit the city between 2:30 and 3, peaking at 102 kilometres an hour.
The UN is appealing for more than $41 million to eliminate a severe plague of locusts in Madagascar. Half of the money is needed by June to try to save the country's crop production. Around half of Madagascar is currently infested, with each swarm made up of billions of insects.
American stealth bombers have just finished practicing an attack on the Korean peninsula. The B-2 bombers, capable of carrying nuclear weapons, flew 6,500 miles from Whiteman Air Force Base outside of Kansas City, Missouri, all the way to South Korea. Pilots then dropped inactive, inert bombs and then turned around and flew back home. This all comes as North Korea ramps up its threats.
A threat, for instance, to carry out a preemptive nuclear strike on the United States mainland.
North Korea is cutting its final official line of communication with South Korea, saying war could break out at any time. My heart is burning with vengeful thoughts, this man says. Such provocation can no longer be allowed. I'm ready to take part in a great war of justice to reduce the US mainland to ashes.
Southern suburbs beachgoers are demanding answers as dead fish continue to wash ashore.
The scale of the mystery continues to grow.
Thousands of fish are washing up dead.
The Indian Ocean island of Mauritius has been hit by severe floods. At least 10 people have been confirmed dead after over 150 millimeters of torrential rain lashed the low-lying capital of Port Louis in under 2 hours, and has now seen over half the monthly average rain for March in just one day.